everyone. This is Tracey Brock from Real 101. I am mortgage broker with many running centers, and I'm happy to introduce Ellen Silverman from Compass Real Estate. Welcome, Helen, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's great to have you. Please, Ellen, give us just a quick bio of yourself and Compass Real Estate as well. That would be wonderful for the viewers.
Yeah, of course. I've been in the real estate world for 9 years, 6 years at Compass. I sell residential real estate in Manhattan, New York City. I mostly work in the uptown market, Harlem, Upper West Side, and Midtown. And before real estate, I was in banking and finance for a very long time as an employee. And as I said, I've been with Compass 6 years. It's a fantastic company, very tech oriented. They're constantly innovating technology tools for agents to make our lives easier.
That's wonderful.
Yep, it's great. And the management is really excellent.
Great. Well, I mean, New York City real estate market, I can imagine, is just extremely dynamic. So what transactions and activity have increased in the last, say, 12 months?
Yeah, well, we're made up of 5 boroughs and thousands of neighborhoods and different types of buildings, condos, co-ops, and townhouses. So it really is very neighborhood specific. I would say that in general, prices have decreased from May to June, but overall have increased and inventory is down. So there's not a lot of inventory and the market is a little stagnant right now, also because of a lot of political uncertainty and also local politics. We're gearing up for a new mayoral election. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. But what I always say is when there's uncertainty and sellers aren't budging and buyers are afraid, it's a great time to get in and make an offer if you're a buyer.
Yeah, I always say it's always the best time to get into the real estate market today. It doesn't matter. Today's always a good day. So your background is a 4th generation New Yorker. I mean, that's amazing. What lifestyles are different from other locations in the country, being from New York, Manhattan, I guess, specifically?
Okay. Well, I think that's a tough question to answer. I think that having grown up in New York City, I think I take a lot for granted. I'm used to having a lot at my fingertips. I'm used to having easy access to, the best museums, the best restaurants, the best stores for fashion and clothes. And
even the best, in my opinion, intricate subway system.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I love it there. I love it.
Yeah, we do have an excellent subway system, although it's very old and always needs upgrading. As a New Yorker, I walk, I'm a pedestrian. I'm the only one in my family that has a driver's license. I know, pretty funny. And I only got the license because I was visiting friends and family in California. So really, the only time I ever drove was when I was in Los Angeles. And that was 20 years ago. And I haven't driven since. So I think as a New Yorker, you're just used to walking everywhere and walking quickly. And you're kind of used to the very fast pace of life. Yeah.
Okay. And, your background in banking and finance, and you mentioned that you were in there for a number of years, and then you pivoted into real estate in 2016. So what's the overview of the New York market currently?
Well, I think that on the very high-end luxury end, it's doing well, and it always does well. On the lower end, $1 to $3 million for buyers, as I said, they're holding back. There's a lot of lookers, but a lot of people are afraid stepping in because of all the uncertainty in the market, interest rates, and the prices haven't really come down significantly. So it's also the summer. So I'm hoping in the fall things will pick up again. Rents are sky high and they continue to increase.
I noticed that. I looked at your website, to be honest with you, and I was just kind of peering around. The homes are beautiful, but the rent, I think I saw rent like $11,000 a month or something crazy like that.
Yeah, jot down some numbers for this call. I mean, the average 1 bedroom in mid-July is $5,127 a month for a one bedroom, and that's up 7% from a year ago. The studio apartment, maybe 500 square feet, is $4,100 a month on average. And a two bedroom is $7,500 a month. I mean, this is crazy.
You have to invest. I mean, that's really why you want to invest in New York City, not just rent. So,
Yeah.
very good point.
I just referenced the average price for an apartment, co-ops and condos combined, is $2.1 million in Manhattan. In Manhattan, we have other boroughs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
In
But
Queens. So I think if you're looking to purchase in Manhattan, I would consider many different types of neighborhoods. There's a ton of new neighborhoods emerging in Queens that I think are great, that are affordable and beautiful and luxurious. There are neighborhoods in the Bronx and there are neighborhoods in Brooklyn that are doing very well. So I think as a first-time buyer, you have to keep an open mind.
Sure. Sure. I think that's anywhere. I think you have to be. The challenge I find with first-time home buyers is they want what their parents have, and they forget that their parents started just as maybe as meager or as simple as they're allowed to start right now, just because of the prices. So it's good to always keep your expectations in check, I guess, when you're looking for homes, especially as a first-time home buyer, I would say.
Yes.
What is the buying process in Manhattan?
Well, it varies. I think for any first-time home buyer, you have to understand what you can afford. And that starts, if you're financing, get pre-approved for a mortgage. Really know what exactly you can afford. How much can you afford to put down as a down payment? How much can you afford to borrow? And what can you afford for your monthly carrying charges? In co-op apartments, we have monthly maintenance fees. Condominiums, there's common charges and taxes. So really understand first what you can afford. From there, you can figure out, well, what size apartment can I afford? Is it a studio? Is it a one bedroom? Am I purchasing something with my husband or partner or relative?
Yeah.
Can I do a two bedroom? And then from there, figure out which neighborhoods you really want to buy in.
And the neighborhoods, they're all relatively, I mean, not close, but you definitely can get it through public transit, and it's easy to get around New York, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. In Manhattan, subways to go from downtown to uptown could take no more than 20 minutes on a subway.
That's good. So you mentioned the co-op. So what is the difference between a co-op and a condo, and who are best suited for either?
That's a loaded question, but I'll give a 360 overview. With a co-op, you're not buying real property. You're buying shares in a corporation. So when you buy a co-op, you have to be approved by a co-op board, and you have to submit a co-op board package. And you have to submit financial statements, bank statements, income statements, pay stubs, reference letters.
Before you even apply for your mortgage.
Well, definitely have to get that mortgage pre-approval absolutely up front, even before you start looking at co-ops. Most real estate agents will ask for that pre-approval letter so they know that you're serious and that you can afford to buy what you're looking at. But co-ops require a great deal of scrutiny and approvals. And there's strict subletting laws. You can't just buy a co-op apartment and then rent it the next day. There are strict subletting rules in place. But the good side of a co-op is that it's stable. You know your neighbors. Everybody looks out for one another. There's a sense of family and stability in a co-op. Versus a condo, you're buying real property like you would buy a house anywhere outside of New York City. And you can buy it and you can rent it immediately because it's yours. And you don't need those approvals by a board.
So a condo corp would be more suited to, I guess, investors, and then a co-op may be more suited towards people that are going to reside in the homes.
Yeah, co-ops tend to be more family oriented. They have children that are attending public or private school in a certain neighborhood of the city, and they plan to stay for a very long period of time. Condos tend to be a little more transient and tend to have foreign investors or investors from out of New York. But I live in a condo. I've been in a condo for 13 years. I love it. I love the fact that I have freedom. I can rent it out whenever I want. Nobody's watching my back all the time, but you are a little more autonomous. And frankly, I don't think I know my neighbors that well. I don't even know half the people who live in my building, but that's okay
Okay.
for me. I
Yeah.
like the autonomy. So it really depends on what your lifestyle is and what you feel comfortable with.
So in your opinion, what are the expectations for the New York area, Manhattan area in the next 12 months?
The expectations. That's an interesting question. I think that after the election, this election goes, or people's perception of the election, I'm hoping that we will have more inventory. I'm hoping that prices come down a little. It's a tough market right now. It's tough for new developers are having a hard time building because of the construction costs, interest rate costs, lack of land to build on.
Yeah, that
I
must be starting to get really limited in that area that you
Yeah,
both reside in.
I think for any buyer, it's just important to have a realistic viewpoint on what you can afford. And I'm hoping prices come down, but right now it looks like they're holding very steady.
That may be because the people that potentially would be selling in a regular active market are kind of holding off and not listing any of their homes for sale.
That and a lot of sellers have very low interest rates from 8 and 10 years ago, and they're not ready to let go of that. And just, I think a lot of sellers are holding back because they can't afford to buy something new. And a lot of people are renovating what they already own.
Right. Okay. So with the investment and the return on investment on a home in that area, what typically is the price appreciation annually?
If you're an investor, even if you're buying all cash, in general, the rate of return is really no more than about 3%. And
Okay.
that's because of very high common charges, maintenance, and taxes in New York. I think that if you really want to see price appreciation in Manhattan, it's best to buy in a neighborhood that is up and coming, that's starting to gentrify, to buy in a condominium, and to buy all cash with low monthly common charges and taxes. And then you could probably see price appreciation, but you have to hold 7 to 10 years.
Okay. And what would
Um,
those areas kind of be right now in the New York area?
I would say parts of Queens. I would say parts of Brooklyn. Astoria in Queens is a good area to invest in. Maybe going east of Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, there are areas that are appreciating, and they're appreciating very, very quickly in Brooklyn. There are neighborhoods in Manhattan that are good areas to invest in, such as maybe Midtown East, Bury Hill, Kips Bay. Midtown
Okay.
East, I think, is a good area.
Okay, that sounds good. Why work with Compass?
We have great technology. We have great tools. We use a lot of AI oriented tools that make agents' lives easier, that makes looking for apartments easier for our clients. We also do a lot of private exclusives. So we have a lot of apartments that the market doesn't know about, that's not on Zillow. We have our own private inventory. We have great management. If I don't know something, I can always talk to my management and ask. We have great resources. I can always look up in the Compass website for a form or answers to a question that I need. I think that between the resources and the management and the technology, it's a really excellent company, and we're a national brand.
Right. So happy agents make happy clients, because if you can do something very quickly and simply, it just passes that easiness onto your client themselves.
Right. And also, if I have a client that's interested in Florida or interested in California or another market in the United States, I have the Compass network of agents that I can refer them to.
Oh, that's great to know too. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there, you mentioned that there was some private exclusives with Compass. Is that typical with all brokerages, or is that just something that Compass prides itself on?
Well, it's definitely something Compass prides itself on. I think the other firms in New York City, Corcoran, Douglas Elliman, Brown Harris Stevens, they all have private exclusives. Yes.
Okay. And where can they find you, Ellen, if they're looking?
You can find me on the Compass website, compass.com. Just look up Ellen Silverman. You can find me on my website, ellenjsilverman.com, or Instagram Ellen J. Silverman.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. The information has been extremely insightful. I personally love New York City, so I've been a few times now, and it's interesting to know that there's some up and coming areas that perhaps myself or somebody like me would want to invest in. So thank you for coming and for sharing this information.
Great. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Have a great day. And remember, everybody, to follow Real 101 on our socials as well, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day. And thank you again, Ellen.
Thank you.